Thank you, Kelly, for that warm introduction, and hopefully you can all see my screen at the moment. Okay, so thanks once again, Kelly, for that warm introduction, and Phytobiomes Alliance for inviting us and providing us this opportunity for this webinar presentation. So as Kelly mentioned, what we wanted to cover in today's webinar is how data management and analytics can be used in microbial genomics to unleash your innovation potential. From Carriersoft, as Kelly mentioned, we've got Subinoy, who's our lead genomics scientist. We've got Rajesh, and we've got myself, Nasser. So with that, we'll move right into the presentation portion of the webinar. And I wanted to start here, which is really a big picture. And all over the world, scientists like yourselves are using next generation sequencing technology to understand microbes and organisms at the molecular level. And they're doing this, as Kelly pointed out, to solve problems, right? Primarily related to hunger or food security. And this is happening, as Kelly pointed out, not just in agriculture, but also in other life sciences verticals or other fields, and fields that use genomics data or next generation sequencing as the underlying technology. So with decreasing costs of sequencing, the application and use of next generation sequencing has really increased exponentially. And genomics data has proliferated, and the management and use and consumption of that genomics data has become ever increasing with challenges. So let's bring it closer to home for those that are participating in the webinar. You know, in the agricultural sciences space, yourselves, you might be working in the spaces of, just as examples, strain engineering, agronomic traits, gene discovery, perhaps biologicals for seed treatment as examples, right? So our intent today is not to cover all possible cases, but we'll go through several case studies to highlight how data management can be used. And I know I'm, in some sense, I'm preaching to the choir, because as users of genomics data, you're probably already experiencing those challenges. So hopefully this is very close to home. So I wanted to encapsulate the challenge or the problem that we're facing in this space. Right, if you look at the pictures at the top portion of the slide, right, today the view is, or the analogy we're going to draw is, that genomics data is organized and structured like the pile of books on the left, right? Very disorganized. And as you can imagine, if you're trying to find a certain book, or perhaps a certain quote within one of the books, in fact, if it's organized like that, you're going to spend all of your time trying to find the right book you're looking for, and perhaps the right paragraph or quote, right? And all your time gets consumed in the searching portion. Versus if the books are organized like depicted on the right, in a very structured and orderly format, it's very quick and efficient to find the book you're looking for and actually consume the content. And so whether you're doing, in this analogy, reading for pleasure on a Sunday afternoon, you get time to actually read the book and enjoy it. Or if you're pursuing an intellectual objective or business objective, you can actually consume that data and generate insights by actually working with the data and mining it, as opposed to looking for it and managing it. So this highlights the challenge here in front of us. And again, I know you're all facing it, but just wanted to encapsulate here to set the stage for what we're going to cover for the rest of the webinar. So the first challenge we've experienced working with our clients and customers is data repositories. And what I mean by that is there are multiple data repositories within an organization. So whether it's a university, academia, or a company, a scientist may be generating sequence data and storing it in a certain location. Other scientists or groups may be doing the same thing, perhaps with a different objective or different organism, and storing it in different locations. So what we've seen is the multiple repositories creates a challenge. Secondly, data formats. The challenge with data formats may come in several flavors. First could be, as an example, that the sequencing technology may be different and so renders the data in a different format. Secondly, data quite often is currently stored in a raw data format. And so when it comes time to mine or actually analyze that data, it's not easy. There's a challenge there before you can actually use or consume that data. The third challenge I want to highlight is this notion of private and public data collections. So again, whether you're in a university or a company, you're probably generating genomics data and storing it, and perhaps that's proprietary that you want to protect. But at times when you're doing your innovation work, there may be public data that you want access to or that you want to compare to. And today, there's no good way to bring together private proprietary data with public data and compare across those collections. So that presents another challenge. The fourth challenge I want to highlight is around the data mining and visualization tools itself. So many organizations, again, whether it be universities or companies, may have in-house developed mining or visualization tools, but in general, our observation or experience with organizations is they are developed for a specific application. And additionally, you may tend to want to use, connecting to the point up above, public data or publicly available tools and browsers. And that's not easy because those tools are either specific and disjointed or not connected and so not integrated. And again, that presents a new set of challenges. The last challenge I want to highlight here is around bioinformaticians' time. So in the R&D space, in the innovation space, this could be a constrained resource. And that's what we've experienced with many organizations and clients, that the rate limiting step in terms of the rate of innovation is quite often dependent on availability of bioinformaticians. And so if we can work around that or work through that challenge as well as the other challenges, we feel we can move our effort in this space on innovation from the left side of the page towards the right side. So hopefully that makes sense in terms of the challenges, and we're going to speak to some of these challenges here. The bottom part of the page is a depiction more in our world in terms of the multiple repositories, various data formats, public and private data collections, and trying to get that in one place. That represents the challenge, and our end aim point is what it looks like towards the right bottom.